This is a scene I'm picking up today. I had sketched this before while I was here. I did a sketch, and today I'm going to do a little color study. Here I did a sketch, a little value sketch here of the design, and I've also did a quick little sketch over here on the right. This is where I'm going to do the painting. So let me go ahead and get started. Here's my setup. I have these are silver brush, black velvet brushes. This is a number 8 round, black velvet number 8 round, and this is a half-inch flat black velvet. These are 2 brushes here, and this is just an old bristle brush I'm going to use here to put in some of the background colors. So that's my small travel palette and a little bucket of water, and there's my painting board, or really my field sketch pad. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Same studio setup. Then this was a sketch I did on watercolor pad, 140 pound, and this was the block in of that scene. With I put in the cobalt blue in the sky, then I went over with the lemon yellow on top of that to make the green mixture on the paper for the trees, and also for the bushes there and the grass. And then I put in some yellow ochre and burnt sienna for the pathway. And this is a block in. I blocked in this stage here. Then I'll go back in later and do a little detail. Yeah, I'm going to put in a little bit of burnt sienna now, using the black velvet natural brush here. Natural hair. Put in the tree trunks here. Hey, I'm back at my studio. I brought my sketch back to my studio, do a little cleanup here, and I've got my palette over here. I put in some darker green, hooker's green, with some ultramarine blue mixed in, and then I have a little bit of lemon yellow. The same colors I used out on my plein air sketch, but now I'm using the same colors here in my studio, and I'm using the same brushes. This is silver brush velvet black. The black velvet silver brush, which is a number 8 round, which is a very nice brush, and this is my silver brush black velvet half-inch flat. These are natural hair, and they do a nice job. I really like them, but I like them in plein air because they do a lot of good work. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to add a little more color to some of this landscape. Get a little more shadow down here on the bottom. And I'm adding a little more darkness here because this is in the shadow. And up here also under the bottom of the tree. And I've got this mounted on an easel here, which is a table easel. And I've got it about a 30-degree angle, and of course the water is going to run down a little bit, which is what I want. I want the water to flow down from the brush to give me a little graded action here with the paint running down at the bottom. And I'm going to leave a little bit of this original color here, but I want to get the shadow pattern, a little more darker value here at the bottom. And I found out when you're on plein air, when you're out there with a hot sun beating down on the painting, it dries very quickly. But here back in the studio, I'm going to take my time and do a little bit more, little touch up, a little more definition. And also going to check at my edges here. I want my edges to be a little more different, a little extra, a little more detail. The edges of an area is very important to give it a little bit of character and also a little bit of shapiness of it. Okay, now I'm going to change the color on that. Now I saw a very bright, because the light was shining across. It was almost backlit, but basically I had the light coming from the top right down to the bottom left, but I could see the top of this shrubbery here next to the walkway was very light at the top, so I'm going to have that to be a lighter color. So I'm using the yellow lemon up here to get that effect. And then as I go down, I'm going to pop in a little more of the green to do a little graded here. So it'll get darker as I go down. Light at the top and then darker as I go down toward the pathway. Clean up a little more of these edges here. Now with a smaller brush with a number 8 round, I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that burnt sienna on the tree trunks. And the burnt sienna, which did a little bit of ultramarine blue. And I'm going to put a shadow pattern on the shadow side of this tree. And the same way over here on this tree over here, a little bit of shadow up under the branch and down on the side. Okay, and I think the last thing I want to add here is the shadow pattern on the ground. So I'll mix up a little bit of shadow color, which I'm going to use a little bit of quinacridone violet mixed in with a little bit of ultramarine blue, and then put a touch of cerulean, a touch of burnt sienna. And I'm going to have a shadow coming from this tree, passing along, crossing over the pathway. And there'll be another shadow from this other tree. And I'm going to make the shadow all the way across. I'm going to make this shadow cover. This is a larger tree, so I'm going to have the shadow coming all the way across the foreground here. Like the foreground, this darker area will lead me into the painting with a darker kind of little shadow under this leading bush over here on the right, on the left. So those are some of the upgrade touches here, and as I can demonstrate here now, if we put a frame around this, you can see here this turns out to be a nice little painting. I get a little shadow pattern, bring it down, and kind of crop off the photograph, and also crop off the painting itself.